Hi guys, welcome. So trade ideas, I'm going to break this down into two parts. As you can see, I've also got a webcam, so I can finally see what it look like. Now, I'm going to break it up into two parts. The first part, I will talk about the gappers, so the pre-market gappers and how I use them, how I evaluate whether it's a worthwhile stock to look into. And then I'll look at the other alerts which pop up from when the market opens. So the first alert that I have on screen is called the gappers alert. Now, this contains gappers that are either 4% plus on the day or 4% minus on the day. I don't really trade the minus trades stocks, so I only look at the gappers, the positive gappers. And what I do here is quite simple. I look at the price. So I've set the price from $2, I think, till 12, and I'll show you my settings. By the way, I'm happy to share my alert settings if you would like to see what they're set up like and the filters. Drop me a line at bart@daytradearcade.com and I'm happy to share them with you. I know that some sites charge crazy amount of money for these. I mean, I've seen people charge $2,000 for their settings for trade ideas. They can make it $2,000, sure. But I believe in sharing and helping other people, and I didn't end up paying for them, so I'm happy to share them. So this is how the gappers work. So I look at the price, I look at the float, anything in the float that is up to $5-10 million means it's what I would call a very low float. Up to 30 is a low float, so that's important as well. How many shares are short in the float, that's important too, because if there's a lot of people holding the stock that are thinking it's going to go down, that means that potentially when the market opens and the price does go up, they will in turn buy to cover their positions, which means they create what's called a short squeeze, which means that the price just keeps going up and up and up and up for apparently no logical reason, but it's basically short positions covering. So when you short, you are selling shares that you don't own. So you borrow shares from your broker. He says, okay, I'll give you 1,000 shares. You sell them at, say, $2 because you think the price is going to go down. And then let's say it gets to $1.50. You then buy them. So it's basically it's like going long. You buy and sell, but it's just done in reverse. You sell and then you buy. So if there's a lot of people holding short stocks, it's possible that we can get a really good short squeeze, and we had one yesterday on our APHB. It went up 150%, which is just crazy. So I'll look at that as well. Look at this CRC. That is a crazy short float. I mean, there's a lot of people holding that, thinking it's going to go down. So interesting to see what happens when that when the bell rings. I'll look at the gap. So that's just how much it's open from the close. The volume, anything really under 5,000, I'm going to disregard completely, but I still will look at the news. So in this case, this is 22,000 shares have been traded. This is 35,000 shares IWMU. So I will look at that as well. Volume today just shows you, based on average volume, how much has it gone through as of right now. So sometimes you see stocks that have just gone through double their normal volume. And here you'll see 200. So here we're seeing that ZFGN has almost done 10% of its daily volume already, and it's only 8:47 a.m. So this means that there's a bit of interest in the stock. The earnings date, I don't look at that much, but the earnings basically mean if it's minus 0.25, it means that earnings came out yesterday after the close of the market. Whereas if it's plus 0.25, which we don't have here, it means it's going to come out today during the day. I think I'm right in saying that. The volume on the 5-minute candle, just to give you an indication whether things are moving or not. This is important. Social sentiment. How many people are talking about the stock? Is it on Twitter? Is it on stock tweets? I think this covers stock tweets, but stock tweets is one of the major ones. So if you can see that 2,500% of its normal activity is being currently spoken or talked about ELY, you know that there's something going on. You know that the people are getting interested in it. Relative volume, I don't really look at that much. The average volume of shares over a 10-day period per day. It's important too, because if you get stuck with a really kind of low liquid stock, you may not be able to get out. And then I just have the sector that they're in. Sometimes it's important because you get sympathy plays, which means that, let's say you have a mining sector and you have one company that's got a really good deal. or that's won a major contract. The other companies in that same sector, even though they didn't, they're not going to take advantage of that offer of that deal. They will still, they can potentially go up or go down at the same time. So that's called a sympathy play. So it's important to note which sector they're in. And consecutive days just means how many days has it been going up or how many days has it been going down. So for example, this NVIV this is the 6th day that it's opened or that is lower pre-market. So that's it. So the next thing I will do is I would discount the ones that I think, are not based on good news, or discount the ones that just don't have the right price action. So 2 ways of doing this. One, you can just right click and pick send to, and then you can click web, and then in there, depending on which page you have it set to, it'll open up the page. So let's, for example, I'm not sure why this isn't working just now, but I had Finviz set up here, which means that it just went through to Finviz. Yahoo Finance, I can see, is also not working at the moment. But this basically just goes to the web and it just gives you the news, so you can see straight away what the news is. Since that's not working, I'll just go to Finviz. So I would open up Finviz, drag it over here, and then I would just have a look at that stock. So this was, so for example, DAIO is our top gainer. So let's have a look at that. So that's the daily chart. That is very useful to see exactly where it is in the long-term picture. But I just want to look at the news first as well. So the news that came out this morning, so just after midnight, it's an edited transcript of their earnings conference call. So if you were to read that, it will tell you what news is. I'm assuming it's positive because the stock has just gone up by about 14%. But the volume isn't quite there yet. But already it's done 20% of its daily volume. So that's important to note as well. That means this could run early in the morning. And there's a lot of people talking about it too. So that, in a nutshell, is how I use the gap scanner pre-market. I'll show you the settings I have for it. So this is basically stocks between $2 and $15. Stocks where the volume today is at least 5,000 shares. Stocks where at least it's 4% up or 4% down from the previous day. Where the float is not bigger than 250 million, and to sort them using the gap with the biggest gap on top. That's it. In terms of exchanges, I have it set to the NYC, ARCA, Amex, and NASDAQ. That's it. Very, very simple, very straightforward. And this gives me a lot of the stocks that I need to look at pre-market. So it's almost 9 o'clock now. So what I would do from now on till about 10 past 9 is I would go through these top percent gainers, the ones I haven't seen quite yet. I would analyze exactly what it is that is driving these stocks up. So what's the catalyst? And then I would set up on a different screen that I have charts showing me exactly how they're going and what the price action is. So this concludes part 1 of Trade Ideas. What I'll do is once the market opens, I will be back and I will show you exactly how these other alerts work. Some are top list windows, others are multi-strategies. So I'll go through all that. They're blank at the moment because they work from 9:30 onwards as the market opens. This is the only window that works pre-market. Well, this one plus the gap alert repeating, and this one as well works pre-market. 1 minute volume surge, which is actually quite good as well. But that's what I do pre-market. I'll come back and I will record another video in about 45 minutes or in an hour showing you how the other alerts work in Trade Ideas. All right, thanks guys.